Five, four, three, two, 1, 0.
What up, fight fans? Welcome to another edition of Warriors Edge Boxing or Web Boxing 101. Like always, I'm Tree, your host, and we have the hitman with us here, Herman Delgado, my play-by-play, former heavyweight professional fighter, fought the likes of Vitaly Klitschko. How are you, Coach?
I'm excellent. Just
good,
had my lemonade, chilling, man.
You had your what?
A pineapple juice.
Oh, that's pretty good, Coach. And then with us today on the bottom screen, our guest of honor, all the way from New Mexico, that's right, is Isidro Castillo from the School of Hard Knocks. Coach, welcome to the broadcast. Welcome to the podcast. Bienvenidos. It's an honor to have you, my friend.
Thank you guys for having me. I certainly appreciate this.
You got it, man. Hey, I like that banner. That's a fucking awesome banner, Coach.
Thank you. So my man, Jay Torres from Fort Worth, Texas, the Dallas, Texas area, he made the banner for me. And I had somebody design this for me, and I'm pretty proud of it. So
that's pretty badass.
That is a badass banner, man. That's pretty cool, man. Folks, we've been out for a while. What was it, 3 weeks, Herman?
Yeah, it's been about. Last time was Tony Weeks, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, we had Tony Weeks. Nice dude, man. That was a pretty good podcast, man. I mean, he fucking hammered it when we talked about his days of refereeing, man. That was a fucking honor, man. And today, I mean, man, we topped it off here with Isidro too. So coach and all that. So we went from, I mean, Isidro's pro and amateur, but we went from pro now back to pro amateur because I want to talk more about amateur. And Isidro, before we even get to the big question, because I mean, you posted something on Facebook that I want to talk about. But first, can you tell the people, tell us a little bit about yourself and growing up in Hobbs, correct?
Absolutely, yes, sir. So I'm 46 years old. I've been a Hobbs native all my life. My parents have been married 47 years. I'm the oldest of 7 kids. Me and 3 of my brothers were all boxers, and we have 3 sisters as well. Every single one of us were athletes. I mean, not just boxing, but we did soccer, football, baseball, a little bit of everything. My sisters, they had soccer scholarships. 2 of them, they're twins. They're the babies of the family. So we've been a part of boxing for a long, long time. My parents have been coaches they started coaching me in soccer in 1980, and they're still coaching to this day. It's 41 years they've been coaching soccer, and among other things as well, like softball and basketball. And my parents do not like to lose, man.
So they're real competitive.
Very competitive. In fact, my mom is 61, and she still plays softball, and so does my dad. I mean, they get out, they still play softball and soccer, yes, sir. And but we come from a sports family, and my forte is boxing. Been a part of it for many and many years. So this is what we do.
So I mean, so you went into boxing, even though did your dad ever box?
No, believe it or not. Well, he did twice, but the boxing side came from my mom's side of the family.
What?
Yes, my grandpa, he boxed in the 50s, and then he took up coaching. He coached for 27 years. My uncles were boxers, and my dad boxed 2 fights just to to get the approval of my grandpa, you know, when he was dating my mom. So he wasn't really a boxer, but he was a street fighter, and, you know, he just did it just to try to impress my grandpa. But we come from a big family of boxing. My uncles box on my mom's side of the family. I box. 3 of my brothers box, and so did my son. He's a boxer. He's 6-0 as a professional. He was 90-7 as an amateur. So, you know, we have a long line of boxing in our blood.
So your son has 6 professional fights.
Yes, sir. 6-0 with 3 knockouts. He injured his knee, and he needs to get that repaired before he can continue fighting. But it's been about 3.5 years since he's fought. You know, I promote boxing, and I manage fighters, and of course I match make for other promoters. So, you know, we try to. He had 6 fights in a matter of 8 months, I believe. So, you know, we were trying to bring him up pretty quick, you know, and he got injured with a knee injury, you know.
So, I mean, isn't it hard, Isidro, for a father to coach his son?
You know, for me, it wasn't. I was more strict on him than I was anybody else, and I expected more from him, you know. So he kind of got you know, he got a lot of love, but he got the worst end of the training because I expected so much of him, you know.
And that's sometimes the issue with a lot of combos there, right? I mean, that the father expects a lot more than the coach. I mean, name me some famous combos there, Herman. I know we had De La Hoya and his father, and then that didn't work. Right now we have also, I believe it's, is it Terrence Crawford and his dad?
I believe so. And then you have, oh God, what's his name? The guy that never shuts his mouth up, 147.
Danny Garcia?
Yeah, that guy.
Oh, yeah, Danny Garcia.
It was his dad anyway, so.
His dad talks so much shit. It's like, who's the fighter here, man?
Well, I mean, in this past weekend, it's not that the coach, but Saunders had his dad right in the corner, too. He was a lot of the shit talking going on, too, with him. But you know what? My kudos to you, Isidro. I mean, you've done a lot. I know you're a promoter. How did you get involved in boxing if in all your life it wasn't really a boxing thing for your dad, and it was mostly other team sports?
Well, I took up boxing in 1979. I was about 5 years old. You know, we stayed active in all sports, but boxing, that's where my love was. And we were constantly fighting almost every weekend or every other weekend through West Texas and New Mexico. I just had a lot of passion for it, man. I mean, we grew up doing it, and I hung around my grandpa a lot. You know, unfortunately, I don't talk to him anymore. He molested my daughter, and so, you know, to me, it wasn't a good thing, you know. But I kept on with the boxing because that's where my passion is, man. I mean, I study many of different fighters, and I've trained many of fighters throughout the years, and it's just it's pretty amazing to make a difference in someone's life, you know.
Yeah, I mean, man, that's a pretty hard story you just told me, Isidro.
Oh, it was pretty rough, you know. And my daughter, she'll be 29 June the 11th, and you know, it changed the course of our life, you know.
Of course.
I shut down my gym, and I was only teaching competitive boxers at my house when this happened. You know, I was actually a single parent. I raised my two eldest. My son, he's 27 now, but I raised them for 17 years by myself. You know, and so they were always at the gym with me. You know, and it's sad that happens, and I know it happens to a lot of people. You know, but it changed the relationship for a lot of people around my family. You know.
So Isidro, let me ask you, Hobbs is relatively small compared to El Paso and other big cities around the area, even right Albuquerque and all that. It's what, 28,000 plus, I think.
Well, it is a small town. It's more along 40,000, if not a little bit more, just simply because of the oil field. We had a lot of people move in. it is a small town, and for the longest time I had the only boxing gym in town.
So
But
so that was my next question. I mean, even in a small town, getting a boxing gym going, that probably would have been rough. You said in your garage. So right now in Hobbs, how many gyms you got?
so there's two other gyms. One is a MMA slash boxing gym, and I actually used to be his coach a long time ago. And then there's another guy that I used to train that was a professional. He started another gym, and he kind of bounces from place to place. So with me, I've had School of Hard Knocks for 25 years. Coming this August.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And, as well as I do, you teach people, you coach people, and sometimes they go off to do their own thing, and there's nothing you can do about that except try to keep your fighters away from these people, man.
Okay. So then you mentioned about trying to keep these people away. So, I mean, you recently posted on Facebook a post talking about a bunch of snakes in the boxing world. And let me tell you, Isidro, I met you one time, my friend. Okay.
Oh, yeah. I remember you, my man. Yes,
You know
sir.
what, Isidro? You're a little bit intimidating, man. You sport those suits like a mafioso, man. That's fucking badass. Man, Isidro's he dresses well, man. He has those nice tuxedos or suits, man.
He comes in John Gotti style.
That's fucking
Yes.
badass, man. You know what? That's why I wouldn't fuck with him, man. Herman. But then, bro, he posts this, and I'm like, damn, who the fuck would want to fuck with that guy, man? You know what, Isidro? And you obviously know more than me. Herman. Of course, a lot of experience there, but I have Herman at my gym. But we always experience the same thing with these people that just walk around the gym like homeless people. In our case, okay, Isidro, and they take our fighters away. So, can you tell us your experience? What happened?
Oh yeah, so I have over 95 students here in my gym, and
Wow.
not all of them are competitive fighters, but I do have a good 15 fighters that are really really good. They have they can be very good fighters. And when you have these kids that are about 19 years old and they start getting jobs, and then one of the other coaches that I used to coach walks into their place of employment and happens to run across them and starts talking to them about boxing, and then obviously he asks them to come to his gym, and then he comes and tells me, to me, I don't go around looking for other fighters from other gyms, man. I don't chase nobody around, bro. I've been doing this for too long. If they're gonna leave, they're gonna leave, and they come back one time, I'll allow that. But after they leave a second time for whatever reason, then I don't need them back in my gym. There's just too many fighters, man. You invest a bunch of time into these fighters, and it's blood, sweat, and tears, man, and many of hours that we put in developing these fighters, only for them to be snatched up because they've been told something else, And the funny thing is that I coached this other guy, and we started letting them come into our gym prior to this, and we did notice that a few of our fighters were going with him, and so I put a stop to it. I don't allow him to come to bring his fighters to my gym anymore. We were letting him come in to get work, and it was good for our fighters at the time, but I don't need that. I don't need that kind of stuff from
Isidro, is he a local guy there? Is he does he have a gym there?
Yes, sir. He's a local. He used to be a professional boxer here. I took him all across the country. We went to 7 nationals, and so he knows boxing. To say he doesn't know boxing, I taught him. So, but it's more than that. It's more than teaching somebody. It's all about loyalty to me. And these cats, they don't get it, man. They don't get it. But
Herman,
it is what it is. Yes, sir. Yeah,
Herman?
And I try to preach that to my boxers, about the loyalty,
But Isidro and Herman, I'm going to have you comment on that, Herman, right now, because I know you want to say something. But Isidro, it is loyalty, Isidro. But like you said, it's like me driving the bus, and people are going to get on and off. Then
Absolutely.
you say and the hardest part about all this ordeal, man, because I feel you, Isidro, is that there's a bond that it gets created like no other sport. Not baseball. I've never experienced it with baseball with my kids, with any other team sport, but boxing. You create a bond with your fighter, and it fucking sucks when somebody walks in here and puts something in their head and they leave. And then my
Oh,
wife said, "Well, don't get so attached to them. It's impossible not to get attached to the fighters." But it sucks, Isidro Herman.
You know what I got to say on that? It's not so much, fighters have a choice to go wherever they want. Once their career starts getting better, and that's not a problem. They want to take other routes and look for a different trainer. Hey, God bless them. But it's the manner in which they do. Some fighters do it the way they do it. They leave the gym and talk bad about you.
I agree.
Where did that come from? And we have some fighters. We've had some incidents that happen like that with fighters. And you're talking, let's say you got a fighter that's been boxing for maybe 4 or 5 years. That's what they say. They've been boxing. They must have watched a Rocky movie or whatever it was. All of a sudden they became boxers. They got maybe 2-3 fights under their belt, but then they go over. They act like the problem is not the fucking gym. The problem is on you. It's not the trainers. When you switch trainers, like 3-4 trainers within a year, it's not the problem. Is not the trainer. The problem is not the gym. The problem is not the equipment. It's your ass that doesn't have the dedication, the discipline, and most importantly, the loyalty. And that's the way I see it. That's what works me sometimes. Like, get the hell out of here, man. Go somewhere else if you want. That's fine. You're somebody's problem now.
Yeah, I mean that's true, man. And it even on the pro boxing level, like I like Andy Reese, but I think it's a shame that he was taken to become a heavyweight champion, won the title, then lost it, and then he got rid of his coaches or whatever. Then he went with Canelo's coaches. I didn't see any difference in the only thing I seen different was he was slimmed down.
Yep.
But the thing is that if he would have put that much effort with the coaches he had, he could have been slimmed down as well.
I saw that the weight that was the most noticeable thing. But I saw that Reynoso didn't do him any favors. He brought in a pit bull and turned him into a Chihuahua because Andy Reese he's a fighter, man. He's got power in both hands, and they just toned him down and try to turn him into a boxer. And that was his biggest setback there. And I don't see him unless somebody takes him back and says, you know what, we're going to let you do the way you do it. You're a fighter. I don't see Reynoso making any difference in his career.
No, I mean, he's done well with Canelo, and I'm sure he's made some improvement. But he's groomed Canelo since he was a teenage kid. With Andy Reese, he was doing just fine. He just got lazy. He let all the money that he got from or whatever the win that he got from the Anthony Joshua fight. I think it got to his head. I do think he's a humble person, but I think he kind of got a little lazy after that win.
So let me ask you both. So you don't think Eddie Reynoso is a good trainer?
No, he is.
Oh, no. I think he's a great trainer.
We're not talking about Canelo. About other fighters.
Reynoso? Yeah, he's a hell of a trainer.
I think he's a good trainer.
He works great with fighters that that are very mobile and can move. Heavyweight's a whole different ball of wax, man. You can't train a heavyweight the way you train a middleweight or a lightweight. It's a whole different training program.
And you know what, guys? I mean, we talk about what's in the best interest of the fighter, and like going back to the amateur world, it sucks, man. When these guys come in here, you invested so much time and effort, and they just leave and they make an excuse and leave. And then you know what sucks too, man? That they'll go ahead and then they talk smack about where they came. These guys over there, that guy over there. I'm like, really, man? It just happens more often that I've been in this sport. It's a cutthroat sport. We've invested so much time in these kids, and they leave, man. And that's unfortunate. And I'm assuming in the pro ranks as well.
Yeah, and you know what? In the amateurs are amateurs. They're barely learning. They're going through the process. But like me, I had trainer. I could count the trainers I had in one hand. But that's because I moved. Like I was on all Navy team. I was in Norfolk, Virginia. I had Dick Pettigrew. Then I came back to El Paso. I had Rocky Galarza, and then I had Mr. Mata for the rest of my career. And that's the way it was. I stuck with one gym, and that was it. I didn't give a shit about another gym. I didn't. It's just loyalty. It came down to
Hey, Isidro, let me ask you. What Herman mentioned about one gym. We have so many fighters here in El Paso that keep moving from gym to gym. Do you think that's good, Isidro? Do you think that the fighter to be successful, do you think he needs to be in one gym and maybe the coach?
Honestly, I think so. I think that they need to stick with one gym and, absorb everything that they're learning and continue to grow with that coach. Because me as a coach, I've been coaching 25 years and I'm constantly learning. And my fighters, I have good fighters. And I do believe that once you start making adjustments like that, it takes away from the fighter. I mean, there are some better coaches. I do understand that. And like Herman was saying, he moved because of his situations from different places and whatnot. So that's very understandable. But when you have only 3 teams in Hobbs and you got fighters jumping from team to team, like for me, they can stay over there. With me, with the guys that have been with me for a long time, I've had guys that have been here with me 15 years. I mean, you can see how well they developed, And even though I taught both of these other guys, my philosophy of boxing is different than theirs, And my fighters have improved and advanced more further than they have. And not only that, but like the guy that was trying to snatch my fighter, I'm the only promoter in Hobbs. So like when I go to put on a show, his fighters won't be on my card, I don't need them, So that's what happens when you burn bridges.
It's business, buddy.
That's good, Isidro. Isidro, keep up doing the good work, my friend. I've heard a lot of good stuff from you, man. You're a good guy, man. And you know what, man? It's their fault. Fuck them.
The way I look at it, what I eat, they don't shit, man. So I just got to continue doing what I'm doing. I have a 2-year-old son. His name is Ali. I named him after the greatest. So I know that I'll be coaching for another 25 or 30 years, man. I mean, and either way, I just continue to manage fighters, promote fighters, coach fighters. I'm an advisor to some fighters. I mean, and I do matchmaking for different promoters. I've done several shows in El Paso with when Jennifer Hahn won her world title. I was a matchmaker for that show. I helped Tony out whenever he put his show on I think it was last March. So I try to help everybody out that needs the help or that wants the help. But if they don't need my help, then I'll just keep doing what I do and helping who I can.
And in the boxing world, keeping those close, tight friends. You only count them in your hand, man. It's
and you know what?
Tight group.
Isidro, on that note about coaching, when I coach, I'd always tell these kids, hey man, I'm not here to be your friend. We can be friends after we get done with training. I'll joke around with them and it's all good, man. I love these kids. But when we're training, I'm there to train. We're not there to goof around. If you're looking for a friend, there's Facebook, there's TikTok. Go do that. Don't
Absolutely.
Come to joke around.
That's what I tell my kids when they're sitting here and they're just talking too much and not doing work. I said, hey, get their phone number and call them after class, man, because we got work to do, And so I'm with you, my man, And
Coach knows that I get on their ass when I see them on that phone. Turn it off, put it away. We're not here to be on social media. We're here to work.
So,
absolutely.
Isidro, on another note, you're part of the New Mexico LBC, of course, out of Albuquerque. How hard is that to deal with that monster when they're not even in your city?
Well, the thing about it is that there for a while, before this new LBC came in, when I would promote amateur shows, I would have to pull West Texas officials to come be a part of my shows because I wouldn't get the help from Albuquerque. But now that the new president and vice president are in, when I did my last couple of shows, they came down along with the West Texas, came down and they supported me. They were here to help judge and officiate, So it's gotten better for sure. I would like to see more boxing in southeastern New Mexico. I'm putting on a show June 18th and June 19th here in Hobbs. On the 18th, we're going to do the celebrity boxing. We'll let local firemen whip on cops or vice versa. I have just different people. I got some attorneys that are interested in fighting, but the second day will be our amateur boxing. So we look to have a pro style boxing show. I mean, I've done probably about 25 pro boxing and about 15 MMA fights. Oh, by the way, I got a bare knuckle fighting approved in New Mexico. So I'm looking at doing the first bare knuckle fight here in New Mexico in July. I worked on that for almost 2.5 years, and it finally got approved this past April.
And is that with the official BKB?
No, sir. No, sir. Actually, when they caught wind of it, they gave me a call and they told me I had to go through them. And I said, you know what? I'm my own promoter, man. I don't, School of Hard Knocks right here, brother. We do our own things. I went through this with MMA. My first show, I did it in a boxing ring. Second show, I rented a cage from Lenny Lovato, who has a couple UFC fighters out of Albuquerque. My third show came to the local MMA gym, and I asked them if I could rent their cage. And they patted me on my shoulder, told me to stick to boxing. So I was like, excuse my language, but I was like, you can go fuck yourself. And I went through, bought my own cage, man, and I started putting on my own shows, bro. So I don't kiss nobody's ass, bro. I try to ask. I wasn't even asking for help. I was going to pay them for their cage, but they didn't want to loan it to me,
Oh, good riddance, dude.
Yep, exactly.
What do you think lacks inside our boxing communities, man? Like our local gyms or coaches and LBCs?
Well, I just think more communication, man. I think there's too many people that are hating amongst each other. There's too much jealousy, bro. Like, instead of being behind the raza and the coaches and, helping each other out, it took one of the coaches here in Haas, bro. He would avoid me putting his fighters on my card because he said he didn't want me to make money off of my shows, off of his fighters. And I said, it is business. And I told him, I said, listen, I can help you out by building your fighters up, man. And it took him a couple of years to grasp that, but he finally figured it out. And now I help him he allows me to put his fighters on the card, and I help them out by getting the right matches and help trying to build them up, So
that's good.
That's the way it should be, but it's not always like that.
It's not always like that. It's never like that. What changed within the USA Boxing Organization? The mothership is in Colorado, right?
Yes, sir.
Do you think needs to be made to help gyms like your gym or the boxing community? Because, like, for example, fees, we have membership incentives. What do you think needs to be changed with that? Do you think there needs to be change? And I'll give you examples in a while.
Well, for me, I think it is very important that everybody does pay their membership, and I like the fact that they do background checks on us, all the coaches. That's very important, man. But I just think that there's some. I know that here in New Mexico, the fees were jumping up from 75 to 100, and and they kept. Yeah, I know for us as coaches, I pay 100. It's 100 plus a $30 background check.
Can you believe that, Herman? We don't even pay that here. We don't pay that here.
Our sanction is $450.
Way expensive than ours.
So and I don't know if it's our LBC that's making it that expensive or if it's actual USA Boxing.
No. Our sanction here is $408, and our coaches. How much did you pay, Herman? $75?
$80.
$80, and the kids pay $62.
See, I don't understand it if it's because you have a bigger state or what. But when I went to register as a coach, I paid $100 for my membership, and then 30 for the what is that background check?
No, they don't charge us for the background here.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah,
I do think that they should run backgrounds on everybody. That's my personal opinion. But I don't know. That's just something I think. That's like for instance, going back to my grandpa. My grandpa, he molested my daughter. I don't know if he did that to anybody else. Over the years, I was always in the van with him going to these fights. And never knew something like this would ever happen. So.
Well, I mean, I really believe too that there is got to be a lot of changes. I'm on the I'm in the front lines. I'm spearheading I'm spearheading something right now, Isidro, to get in contact with USA Boxing in association. I can't say much, but in association with the WBC Amateur,
Nice.
a program that the WBC will help us with the bylaws and all that, and help us get through some stuff that we have to fight, like fight our own fight battles that we don't need to fight as coaches. I'll give you an example, man. I called the USA Boxing to get a doctor, right?
Yes, sir.
And doctors are very hard to find, an MD or a DO. It's very hard here in El Paso. Our LBC struggles so much, and people don't understand how much work it is. So for my show on the May 22nd, I struggle to get a doctor. So then I get a doctor, and he has an MD license, an official doctor, but he's in Ciudad Juarez.
Oh, wow.
Okay? So then I call USA Boxing, and I ask them, well, can I use him? And they said no. And then I'm like, well, let me ask you a question. How come? Well, he would have to change his paperwork to the United States to use them. And then I said, okay, what? But the rules come from AIBA, correct? And he said, yes. Isn't that international? Isn't that an international rule? He didn't know what to tell me. So you see, fights like that need to be fought. So we need a bigger. It's not legal. It's politics. So
I'm wondering if it would have been a Canadian doctor if they would have allowed them.
Well, I mean, in Tokyo, they're going to have different judges from everywhere. You think they're going to transfer paperwork?
Exactly.
There is not shows here in El Paso. Let me tell you why, man. I mean, besides those snakes. But let me tell you why. The LBC does not have shows, man, because we don't have doctors. It's just hard to get a doctor, man. Do
you guys have to pay your doctor, or do they do it for free or what?
Well, it all depends. It all depends on. It all depends what. So when I do the Clash of the Titans, it's like the Battle of the Badges. We have big sponsors. We'll pay the doctor. If it's a local show, Dr. Applebaum that's going to do our show, we don't pay him. But you know what, Isidro? Out of courtesy, and come on, man. Of course, we're going to help him. Maybe a gift card. Maybe give him some money from what we get from the door. Of course, we're going to help him pay his time, pay his tab, get him dinner. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
So we do that, and I know the LBC here, like Hector, is helping us out for my show, and the vice president. But it's just hard because we don't have a doctor. So I think one of the big changes for me is to spearhead this program to get us to lower maybe a nurse practitioner, because they actually do all the work.
Exactly.
It's just so hard to get a doctor here, man. And I know I've been here long enough to see that fights don't get developed because we don't have a doctor.
Oh yeah, even in the amateurs and the pros, in the pros, I have to pay my doctor $400. When I do shows in Texas, I got to pay two doctors, and the Texas Commission, they bring the doctors down. But here in New Mexico, I got to find a doctor and get him on board, and I got to pay him his $450. So even for my amateur shows, I'm willing to pay $400 so that we can have a show go on, if that's what it takes,
Exactly. We are here live with Isidro Castillo from Hobbs, New Mexico, School of Hard Knocks. We got some viewers, and let me just, Valentin Natividad, good friend and great person, best coach in Hobbs, no doubt. He taught my daughter well. So there's a shout out to you, Coach.
That's nice, my dude.
Fuentes, officer of the sheriff's office. I agree. Good job, Fuentes. And then Bobby Joe Valdez. This is an interesting comment. How are you, Bobby? Another one of the pro fighters. He just opened the gym, Red Corner. Is that what it's called, Herman?
Yeah, Red Corner Boxing.
Yeah. So welcome to the. He's not a stranger to boxing, of course, but welcome to the gym and business, Bobby. So thanks for tuning in. He says that they charge him for his background. I don't know if they charged. I think it was just one fee, and that includes the background. I don't know, Herman. What did you pay again?
I paid. I think it was $80, but I think they off 1 year at one or every 2 years they change it where they do charge you for the background check.
Okay, so I guess it's 1 year then, not. But I have heard that they really charge in New Mexico. So, and Bobby commented again, yeah, I'm great. Yes, Red Corner. I know he's a big Redskin fan because that's why he probably named his gym Red Corner. I think so. I don't know. He's in the comment right now. So we're here, folks. We're also getting ready as we move along the podcast. We're getting ready for our Clash of the Youth tournament. May 22nd, Texas Army National Guard, 11701 Montana. Tickets are only $10, man. I just put it for $10. I don't care. Ringside, everybody. $10, folks. Being sponsored by, of course, Warriors Edge Boxing Gym and Promotions, and of course the WBC Amateur Cares Program. A big shout out to the Chairman of Political Affairs, Mr. Ray Mancera, and Mr. Tony Weeks as well is going to give our introduction to start the show. So, folks, come on out the next Saturday, to the El Paso area for boxing. We have 20 bouts scheduled, sponsored by us, and of course the WBC Cares. Beautiful, beautiful medallions from the WBC. So that's what we got.
We got the Pebble Hills National Junior, Navy Junior ROTC opening up presenting clothes for us. Mr. Justo Mendoza is the officer in charge out there he's the CO, the commanding officer of the NJROTC program. He's putting that on for us, so that's pretty cool.
Good, man. So it's going to be a good show, man. Bobby just said the Red Corner because the corner I was in when I won the Golden Gloves title. Oh, I'm sorry, Bobby. That's good, man. Congratulations to you. He's also a good El Paso boxer and a new in the sport as far as business and the gym. So the more gyms we have in El Paso, the better. There's enough for everybody. So going back to Isidro, man. Isidro, this past weekend we witnessed a good fight, man. The Canelo versus Sanders fight. It was a great show. Great show to be at. Big scale show.
Yeah, I was actually gifted some tickets and we couldn't make it, so I raffled them off to raise money for my boxing gym. But I did watch the fight, and I think it was smart for Saunders people to to stop it. I would have stopped the fight myself, and I have stopped fights where my fighters were winning, but they get hurt really bad in the last round. And there's these fighters, they live to fight another day. And although I wish he would have came out so Canelo could have knocked him out, but as a coach, I think they made the right decision to stop that fight, man. He wasn't looking too good. And
okay, well, let me ask you a question, Isidro.
Let me on that same, and before I forget, on that same note, Isidro, you're correct on that. Look at that fight with Burchell and who was it that Burchell got knocked out by what's that kid's name? The recent fight, lightweights.
No, it was
the Burchell fight that happened maybe 2-3 months ago. They let him come out for the next round, and that's what he just.
Oh yeah, Vasquez.
Yeah. Valdez.
Oh, yes.
Valdez.
They should have stopped before.
Yes, absolutely.
Typical macho, and he got his ass hit, and he might have retired him.
But wait a minute, guys. I mean, I know me. When I saw that he want to come out, I'm already judging. What the fuck, man? What's going on? So, Isidro, did you already, as a coach, an experienced coach in Herman, did you guys know already that he had a fucking fucked up eye like bad? Or you really also said, hey, man, what the fuck? Why ain't coming? Or did you just find out afterwards?
I didn't know about the medical condition of his eye, but just he was taking too many shots towards that end of that round. It was like chinga, everything was hitting him, man. He had him. It was like a sparring match. It was like that was it.
For me, his body language said everything.
Body language said it all.
And when he went to the corner, he was already done, man. I mean, they can say that he wanted to continue. I can guarantee you, he did not want no more than body shots or uppercuts from Canelo, man. Canelo, he fought well up until that point, and but Canelo was coming on strong, man, and it would have been disaster for him in his corner, man.
Right.
I mean. This was his biggest payday, I mean, he talked a lot of shit going into the fight, and I'm glad it happened. I'm glad what happened. I just, as a fight fan, I wish it would have went on one more round so we could have seen that, like Chavez did to Meldrick Taylor, for instance. I don't think Canelo was losing the fight, but I do think Saunders was given a good account of himself up until that round when he started getting caught, But you can tell
he fought. He came to fight. I gotta tip my hat off to him on that.
Yeah.
He was no chicken shit. He came to fight. He talked about shit, but he fought.
Yeah, he came to fight.
And he's an undefeated world champion. So, you expected that. And it's pretty disappointing to see a lot of people who've never boxed, who sit there and they criticize Canelo. Oh, he fought Saunders, but he hasn't fought the Charlo brothers. He hasn't fought Benavidez. He hasn't. Well, you can only fight so many times a year, number one. And number two, like, for instance, that guy, Andrade, Boo Boo? Okay, he's an undefeated fighter, but who has he fought? All these guys, they want to fight Canelo because of the money.
Yeah.
He's a cash cow. He's what Mayweather was 7 or 8 years ago.
They're like gold diggers. They're like, you know what? Anna Nicole Smith looking for an old man to marry. That's
absolutely, man. And Canelo's his old man, right?
I mean, it was a pretty. I mean, 9th and 10th round, it was about to go down, and I think Saunders would have got him floored.
Oh, he would have knocked him out in the 9th round.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Would have knocked him out.
Well, folks, I mean, it was great to see boxing back, but I wish I would have seen another more rounds of Canelo. But a lot of shit talking about Canelo. Canelo is the cash cow. Canelo is the man for the WBC, for all the belts. He's going for the IBF title. Caleb Plant has it. What do you think, Isidro? You think that Caleb Plant will take the fight in September?
I mean, it's a no-brainer for him to take it. It's the biggest payday. It's the biggest payday of his life. He has a story to tell with his mother being shot by police, and I think something's wrong with his daughter. I think he's a good fighter.
Yeah, me too.
But I do not think he can beat Canelo, man. It's two different types of fighters, and they have two different types of resumes. But while it lasts, it'll be a good fight. But I think it's going to be a 9th or 10th round knockout too.
So who do you think can beat Canelo, Isidro?
Man, right now, anyone from 154 to 175. I mean, I think there's some tough fights, but I don't think nobody can beat them. I think Benavidez. No, not even them. I think Benavidez will give him problems, but I think he can beat Benavidez personally. And then there's that kid at 175. I think he's like a Russian kid or Ukraine. I think he would give him trouble. I think that's his name. I'm not sure. He's a undefeated light heavyweight champ. Yes, sir. But I think Canelo, he's a man, and he needs to manage himself right. And I think I think Eddie Hearns now sees what he's done for him, because Eddie Hearns was trying to get him beat, and everybody knows that. And now he's like putting his arm around him, and that's his new cash cow.
Yeah.
Pretty amazing. 73,000 people at the Dallas Cowboys Stadium.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That was awesome.
And the dude's not even from the United States. He's.
You know what? I didn't see anybody wearing masks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
COVID doesn't. It was not in there.
Yeah. COVID didn't come into Texas Stadium.
You know what? I like Canelo, and I like all that. I like everything. It was awesome, man. I like it, and I like the culture and all that. But I wish that Canelo, when he would say "Viva Mexico," I wish he would say "Thank you, United States, for fucking giving me what I have." That's all I got to say. I'm sorry, I had to say it.
Very true.
You're here in this fucking great nation. At least acknowledge it. Okay, but that's me. I said it. All right, whatever. It irks me, man. It irks me, man. But oh well. I'll just fucking Viva, fuck the United States, but I'm here.
Hey, he's gonna take all that money he can, though. That money's universal.
Right. All right, folks, we're here with Isidro Castillo. Thanks for being with us, Isidro. Gracias, my friend. You ready to play rapid fire with us? We're gonna play rapid fire. You ready?
Okay, come on.
All right, who's the pound for pound fighter right now? The best pound for pound. I think you already said it.
Canelo, easy.
Fury versus Joshua. Who wins?
Man, I'm going for Joshua.
Oh, fuck, really?
I'm going for Joshua. I think his style, if he can adapt the way he did with Andy Reese and fight smart, I think he could beat Fury. I hope, anyway, so.
Wow, and they're going to, you know what sucks about the zone? Here I go, I'm going to vent again.
Yeah, where they're going.
They're catered to UK a lot, so the fights are fucking early. That's in Saudi Arabia. It's going to be in the morning over here. So that's going to suck, because goddamn, man, we're gonna. It's too early to drink beer.
So do you guys think you got Fury on that fight?
I got Fury. He's one of my best heavyweight fighters. Fuck yeah. We'll talk again, Isidro, and you're gonna tell me I told you so, Tree.
Well, man, it's gonna be a good fight. I'm glad it's being made.
Yeah, me too. That's gonna be badass, man. I like Fury, and to be honest with you, Fury was my 2020 fighter of the year. I know he fought one, and he started the pandemic. It was before the pandemic. Right after that, all hell broke loose. But he fought what's his name, Deontay Wilder. That fucking entrance was badass on that chair like a king and shit. I like Fury, man. He's a good guy, man.
Yeah, I was going for Fury that night.
Yeah, I like Fury all the way against Joshua. Best boxing movie.
Man, shoot, dang. I don't know. I like a lot of boxing movies, man.
Give me one. Come on, Isidro. You're on rapid fire.
Man. Fuck. Let's go to another one. I'll come back to that.
Your top Mexican fighter of all time, but you cannot pick Julio Cesar Chavez.
Well, Canelo. Chavez first, but Canelo right now.
The best punch in boxing.
Best puncher?
Best punch.
Like right now?
Best punch, uppercut. What would you
I like the left hook.
Left hook. Herman, what about you?
The uppercut.
The uppercut, huh?
I'm with it.
The what's that?
I said I'm with that too, but I like that left hook.
Man, that uppercut that Canelo did to Saunders, fuck.
Beautiful. He was going for it.
Yeah, all night there. Instant replay in boxing, yes or no, Isidro? It's going to that.
Man, I don't like it, but I think it needs to be done. You know, I think that for some fights, you know, you got to have it, man. I don't like it though, but you know.
Headgear or no headgear in the amateur boxing? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Isidro.
Well, I was just gonna say, I think it was I can't remember if it was Mikey Garcia. There was a fight. I don't remember if it was him or not, but I think they had to go back to the instant replay, or I can't remember who it was, but somebody got dropped or knocked down or something. And
the last time there was a controversy on a call, and it was in Las Vegas, and Robert Byrd was the head of officials, and they stood 30 minutes reviewing a headbutt, and they took the kid's belt. I think it was
Top Rank.
Yes, Top Rank.
Yes, that's
and Bob Arum threatened to get the fuck out of Vegas because he couldn't get it right, and it was clearly on the video. I forgot the name of it, man. I can't read. I'm gonna try to read.
That's what I was trying to get at.
Yeah, and it was in Vegas too. And Bob Arum was livid, man. It was livid.
Yep, I remember that. So.
It was Valdez. He said, Josh Enriquez. What's up, Josh? Isidro, wish he could have seen my fights in El Paso. Isidro is also one of our pro fighters. He's a good guy.
I know Josh very well. He made his pro debut on my card on one of my first pro fights.
That's a cool dude,
man, a good kid.
Very good guy, man.
Very humble.
All his family, man. His dad is super awesome too, man. Headgear or no headgear in the amateur world?
Well, elite boxing, I think there should be no headgear, but you know, JOs and kids, I think there should be headgears. You know.
Marvin Hagler versus Canelo Alvarez in their prime. Who wins?
Ooh, man, I'd have to go with Hagler, but man, that's a tough one. I think Hagler because he's naturally the bigger fighter. I know it was at 160. Canelo started at 54, and maybe Hagler started at a lighter weight. I'm not sure, but man, that fight with Mugabe or whatever his name is, man, that was a fight, man. And I think Marvin Hagler gives anybody problems at 160. Anybody.
That was
favorite boxing match of all time.
Meldrick Taylor versus Julio Cesar Chavez. Favorite. And Corrales versus Castillo.
That was my favorite.
Yeah. Those are two. And I think Tony Weeks was the ref for Castillo.
That was one of my questions to him. And he said, hey, man, he got some slack for that. But he said, I like what he said. He said, you know what, man, at the end of the day, that's my job, to protect the fighter. I zeroed out everybody, and I did what and it was a blur when he stepped in, and he just said, enough's enough, man. What a fight, man. Fuck.
What a fight, man. And I'll tell you right now, I get a lot of people saying stuff about the Chavez versus Taylor. I think it was absolutely a great stoppage because the referee is not the timekeeper, man. And, and Meldred Taylor didn't respond to the ref,
Focused on what's going on right then and there.
Absolutely.
And
whether it's 2 seconds or 5 seconds or a minute, he didn't respond.
Look at Taylor. Look at Taylor now, man. He can't even tell you the ABCs.
It's sad. Wow. I met Taylor before, and it couldn't understand what he was saying. Very sad.
Yep.
Very sad.
All right, we're on rapid fire with Isidro. Last question. Name one thing that people don't know about you, man.
Well, I'm 46 years old. Well, maybe they do know, but I have grandkids that are older than my youngest son, and so I got 6 grandbabies, and I was a single dad to my oldest, are 28 and 27, and now I have a 6-year-old and a 2-year-old, man. They're my pride and joy, and
cool.
I started all over, but my lady Myra, she helps me out tremendously, and we just keep, she supports what I do. She lets me, she's right beside me when I'm putting on these shows, so she knows the struggles I go through or what I'm going through with these pro boxing fights that I'm working on, or when I'm promoting a show and all the bullshit that comes along with it. So, she's got my back.
That's cool. Awesome. Many blessings for you, Isidro, and your family, man.
Thank you, guys, man. It's such a pleasure to be on your show. I'm actually starting a podcast. It's going to be called $4 Production Podcast. And it's if you got a minute, I'll tell you about it real quick.
Go ahead.
I'll make it quick. So my very first show, brother, I did amateur shows. I did even Tough Men and Tough Women contests. But when I did my very first pro boxing show, I had a sold out venue. And at the end of the day, after I paid everybody else, I walked away with $4, bro. I mean, this was on Sunday when I went to pay the hotel. The New Mexico Athletic Commission burned me. They were only supposed to get 6 rooms. They ended up getting 16 rooms. I don't know how that happened, but the hotel people let them get the rooms. I ended up having to pay that. I paid the fighters more than what I should have. And then the commission also, the night of the fight, brought in 20 women, wrapped them around the inside of the ring as their special guests. So, those are $150 seats. Never got nothing back. They did an investigation. Anyways, by the time the show was over, I walked away with $4 after I paid everybody out. So that's one story. And real quick, the reason I stopped boxing, I was gassed with H2S in May 25th of 1996. H2S is hydrogen sulfide. It took them 13 minutes to revive me. Very blessed. Had a second chance at life, and so got to live this, to be able to tell this story. So May 25th will actually be 25 years since that accident happened.
Wow.
It's an awful accident. So
God bless you. Doing positive things. That's important, man. God bless you.
God bless you, Isidro.
Absolutely. It was a pleasure being on your podcast. Good luck on your show on May 22nd. I wish we could be there, man. I didn't even know about the fight till Tony told me you guys were looking for a ring, but possibly. So
I might be calling you this week.
Let me know. Let me know.
All right, Isidro. Thank you, folks. We've been on already. We're about to sign off. Thank you, everybody, so much. Aldo Montes, he said, behind every good man is a strong woman. Folks, thank you so much, man, for being with us. This has been the podcast. A pleasure with Isidro. Isidro, hopefully I'll go visit you, man. We'll go visit you out there, man.
Man, let me know, and I'll put you guys up in a hotel here, man, and we'll hang out.
Thank you, Isidro. We'll talk to you
soon. Both you guys.
You got it, man. Thanks, man.
Not together.
Not together. I got y'all, man.
That's how rumors get started.
Come down, see me anytime. Real quick before we log off, I need to get with you, man. I do motivational speaking events, and I bring people in, and I know you had some connects, so I'd like to get with you guys on that, man.
All right.
Let's do it.
We'll be talking soon.
Fuck yeah, Isidro. We're going to talk a lot. Hey, Bobby, thanks for tuning in, man. Bobby Joe Valdez, man. We're going to have Bobby on our show. Herbie, can we make that happen?
Absolutely. Hey, Bobby, if you're listening, I know you just opened up a gym, man. Be careful with those freeloaders coming in. Be careful, buddy.
Yeah. Bobby, I wish you the best, my friend, and we're going to have you on the show. Isidro, I'm definitely going to go visit you, brother.
Come see me. Come see me. Both you guys, man.
Thanks, Isidro. We'll see you soon, brother. Honestly.
We'll see you. And folks, I'm sorry there was a lot of echo. Man, this system, but we're going to get it done, man. So hold on. We got another comment. I think, ya sabanas. I guess that's what Bobby said. Herman.
Ya sabes. That's what he
sabanas.
said. Man, I got to make a cholo out of tree, man.
Hey, I am a cholo, man. I'm not a cholo.
He's a modern day cholo.
Hey, man, I put cholos behind bars. The bad ones.
There you go.
All right, folks. Have a good one, man.